If we are ever going to win the war against our weight, if we're ever going to find our freedom from food and change our relationship to food, we have to develop our personal health leadership skills. This is Katie Gordon, and you're listening to the Weight is Over podcast. Welcome, health and freedom seekers. Sit back and relax as you come on this journey of overcoming obstacles so you can lose weight, gain health, and live the life you've been looking for. Hello, freedom seekers, and welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Katie Gordon, and the Weight is Over with Dietless Living 360 Degrees. There's no recipes, food regimes, or exercise programs to follow. This is simply about how to take your life back, how to take control, because we all have a voice and we want to be heard. We want to forget about dieting, focus on living, and lose weight. And to do that, we need to create a new mindset. We need to develop our personal health leadership skills so that we can step into a new state of mind that moves us beyond the obstacles and challenges of our life and our own unconscious programs, because that's really what's impacting on our weight and health and causing habit relapse. And the purpose of this podcast is to share with you what I learned over 25 years in dieting hell and spending over $100,000 working out how to step into dietless living. Dieting will always fail if we can't control impulse and emotional eating. But when we can control emotional and impulse eating, dieting is no longer necessary. The problem's never, ever been what we eat. The problem has always been why we eat it. Why do we eat the shit food that we know is taking us away from the health and happiness that we want? Why do we continue to eat the shit food that we know is keeping us chained to the shackles of our weight and making us miserable? It's an age-old question, and one I ask myself a bazillion times over 25 years as I'm standing there shoveling shit in my mouth going, I don't even know why I'm eating this. And more importantly and more bewilderingly is that I don't know why I can't stop myself. This is our problem. The problem has never been our weight. The weight is a result of the problem. Weight causes problems for sure, but that's not the problem that we need to resolve. The problem we need to resolve is why we are eating the shit food that we're eating and why can't we stop it, and how can we take charge of ourselves, make the changes that we need to make in our behaviors so that we can step into dietless living, find our freedom, free ourselves from food, and just get on with living life and forget about the whole weight thing. Like, how much of your life does weight take up? Like, for me, I don't think there was hardly ever a minute where I wasn't thinking about food. Oh, my weight, I'm fat, I'm overweight, I need to eat. Oh, I can't eat that. Everything is just unbelievably taken up with this thing of food and our weight. And the problem is our habits and behaviors that we've developed over our lifetime in the responses to the things that are happening in our life. It's also our own ignorance about our own mind, body, and the food that we're eating. Nobody wants to think of themselves as ignorant, but ignorance is simply a lack of knowledge and understanding. And if you think of ignorance more like a scale rather than an absolute, it's easier to take on board and really go, okay, so I am ignorant. I need to go out and work out what I need to learn. What are my knowledge and skills gaps here? And what is it that I need to learn? And who has the information that I need so that I can make actual changes in my day-to-day life? It is in our knowledge and understanding of how we get to change our habits and behaviors that we actually get to break free. And that's what personal health leadership skills is all about, is actually developing your knowledge, your understanding, and your skills that take you from where you are to where you want to be. It's in reducing our ignorance, in building our knowledge and understanding, that we get to actually break through the barriers of our life that are keeping us stuck. And we do that through building our personal health leadership skills. If we are ever going to win the war against our weight, if we're ever going to find our freedom from food and change our relationship to food, we have to develop our personal health leadership skills, because that is how we lead ourselves through behavioral changes, habit changes, changes in the way we think, feel, and deal with life. It is through developing our personal health leadership skills that we take charge of understanding what food it is that we are selecting to eat, and understanding ourself when ourself is actually in opposition to us, saying, I don't care about what's good and healthy, I want to eat this. And being able to lead yourself through that change, being able to influence your own self enough that you can say, okay, I feel what you want, I understand what you want and how it's going to behave for me in my body, and this is what I want to do. And now, dear heart, that's yourself. Now, dear heart, this is what we're going to do, and it's not going to be eating that. And it's being able to influence yourself away from this part of yourself that is wanting to be stuck on the same behavioral track day in, day out. That is where you find your actual freedom. Freedom comes in our ability and confidence to be able to be self-directed in those behaviors that make the greatest change for our health and our weight. And that, my friend, is true freedom, and where we all want to be. It's about having control of your food, exercise, lifestyle, feeling freedom in your mind and body, and being able to control your weight, your health, and your happiness, and ultimately your life. Don't let ignorance rob you of your one fabulous life. Keep building your personal health leadership skills so that you can move beyond psychological and physical discomfort as you make changes to your behaviors and habits. It is your life. You want to step out of the waiting room, take those reins, and be involved in how your life turns out and find your freedom. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a comment, and share it with a friend. And if you want more help with this, just book in for a private session and let's just get it done this week, because life is for living and an ounce of adjustment is always easier to implement than 20 pounds of change. It's time to find your freedom and live the life that you have been looking for.